Welcome back to the channel, Anthology fans. My name is Coach, and on this episode of Card Anthology, we're going to take a look back at the last expansion of the Invasion block. This set was the second small set of the block following the Planeshift expansion set. This set would conclude the Invasion block and continue the storyline of the Phyrexian invasion of Dominaria. So, with that in mind, let's start the episode over the expansion known as Apocalypse. Apocalypse was released on June 4th of 2001 and was the 23rd expansion set of the Magic the Gathering franchise. The symbol of the set was the Mask of Yawgmoth to symbolize the power of the Phyrexian leader of the Apocalypse storyline. The design team was led by Paul Peterson, with Randy Buehler, Charlie Catino, Mark Rosewater, and T. Wood Woodruff as the other members of the team. The development team was led by Mike Elliott, Michael Denai, and Robert Gushel, along with designers Randy Buehler and Charlie Catino, with contributions from Braden Dovermuth and Beth Morson. Dana Knutson and Ron Spears would return again as the art directors for the expansion. The total size of the set was 143 cards, with 55 commons, 44 uncommons, and 44 rares. Apocalypse was also accompanied by the novel of the same name with 4 pre-constructed decks, with the blue and red Whirlpool deck, the blue and green Swoop deck, the white, black, and green Burial deck, and the 5-color deck known as Pandemonium. The mechanics of this expansion continued to use split cards and kicker from the Invasion set. You had the Flag Bearer mechanic, which forced an opponent to have their spells target the bearer creature only. You had the Bloodfire mechanic as seen on the card Bloodfire Dwarf that deals a certain amount of damage, Whirlpool, which are creatures that when they come into play, you shuffle your hand into your library and draw that many cards. The card Whirlpool Rider uses this mechanic. The last two mechanics were Penumbra and Siphon. Penumbra made green creatures create black tokens when they go to the graveyard, and Siphon lets you draw cards at the cost of life. An example of Penumbra is seen on the card Penumbra Worm, with the Siphon mechanic being shown on the card Phyrexian Arena. These last 4 mechanics were also part of the vertical cycles of this set. In total, there were 14 cycles. The first true cycle was called the Enemy Color Split Cards, which is where one card had 2 spells on it. Cards of this cycle were Night and Day, Order and Chaos, Fire and Ice, Illusion and Reality, and Life and Death. You had the Disciples, which were 1/1 common wizard creatures that had 2 activated abilities. The cards of this cycle were Anna Disciple, Seta Disciple, Necra Disciple, Raka Disciple, and Daga Disciple. The next cycle was the Enemy Color Painlands, which can tap for 1 generic mana or tap for 1 of 2 colors for 1 life. The Painlands were Battlefield Forge, Caves of Koilos, Land of War Waste, Shivan Reef, and Yavimaya Coast. You also had the Enemy Color 2-drops, Envoys, Enemy Color non-creatures, Sanctuaries, Enemy Color permanents, along with the wedge spells. The last true cycle were the Volvers, which were rare creatures with enemy color kicker cost that gave increased stats and extra abilities. The cards of the cycle were Anna Volver, Seta Volver, Necra Volver, Raka Volver, and Daga Volver. There were no reprints in the cycle and only 1 pair of cards. That card pair was Desolation Angel and Desolation Giant, which had double color mana with a kicker cost that could act as an Armageddon or a Wrath of God essentially. There were 4 notable cards from the Apocalypse expansion. The first card was Mystic Snake, which was a blue and green creature with 4 converted mana and was a 2/2. This creature also had Flash, and when Mystic Snake comes into play, it countered a target spell. The next card was Spirit Monger, which was a black and green creature with 5 converted mana and was a 6/6. When it dealt damage to a creature, you put a 1/1 counter on Spirit Monger. It could become a color of your choice and could regenerate as well. Pernicious Deed was a black and green enchantment that could destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with converted mana cost of X after this card was sacrificed. The last notable card was called Vindicate, which is a black and white sorcery that could destroy target permanent. This was one of the best single spell removals of its time and one of the best single removal spells printed since it could hit any permanent. A sealed booster box of Apocalypse is worth around $300. So that is all you need to know about the Apocalypse expansion set. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Card Anthology, and if you did, hit that like button, drop a comment, and share this video with your friends. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content such as this. Check out the links in the description to see last week's episode over Planeshift, and go over Nizzahon Magic and check out his top 10 cards over the Planeshift expansion. Make sure you check out our sponsor 5-Color Combo at their website 5colorcombo.com and download their app. Make sure to visit the store, and if you buy anything, make sure to use the code thecardbazaar to get a 5% discount on your total purchase. Make sure to also follow them on Twitter at 5Color Combo. You can also follow us on our Twitter page by going to @thecardbazaarcc, leave us a message, drop a comment, and see what we're going to be up to for our next upcoming projects. Our next episode is going to be over the core set known as 7th edition, so be on the lookout for that episode in the future. That is all I have today for this episode, everyone. Coach over here signing out, and we will see you all next time.